Good boy. Have fun, Marty. We're gonna have a chat. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm sitting out here by the crackling fire, and it's the end of the year. It's the end of 2020, and for no reason other than I want to, it's time to select the biggest moron for 2020. The biggest moron must be a politician, and he must be a moron. So in Canada, that narrows it down to almost all of them. So I've decided to make the job a little bit easier. We'll just examine their behavior over the last couple of weeks and select the biggest one. In the comment section, maybe you could leave some comments on nominees for the biggest moron in your country. Must be a politician, must be a moron, which means there's plenty to choose from. I brought some notes so that I don't fumble with my memory trying to remember these things. Just some of the nominees. Over the last, let me just paint it this way. Why am I out in the woods here by myself? Well, I'm not visiting my parents this year for Christmas or New Year's. I can't go visit any friends because the government told me not to. In the province I'm from, we are in total lockdown. We are not allowed to visit one other person. There's no getting together allowed. The Department of Health in Canada has issued warnings that we must avoid non-essential travel anywhere in the world, and municipal governments all around the country have said that we must be locked down and we cannot gather in any way. In fact, my mother in the condo that she's in used to, there's an 80-year-old woman who lives in her condo in Toronto with my dad, had this routine where she would go down into the lobby and sit in some nice comfy chairs in the lobby and meet up with some of the other old nice ladies that lived in the condo who never left the condo. They would go down there and sit in other comfy chairs 10, 20 feet apart and just spend some time together. Well, that was very dangerous during this time of a pandemic, so they removed the couches and she's no longer allowed to associate with anyone and must stay locked in her small apartment for the foreseeable future until we get a hold of, until everyone gets vaccinated, I guess. But I got some notes. Let's go through them here. You might not recognize these names unless you're Canadian, but like I said, nominate some of contestants for the biggest moron from your country in the comment section. Ron Leipert, Conservative member of Parliament from Alberta. This is good. I don't know if I could do it with a straight face. He decided to travel to California twice over the last little while because he had some house maintenance to do. He's in the past served as Alberta's health and wellness minister. And during a pandemic, to promote health and wellness, he thought it would be a good idea to travel to California because there's nothing really bad happening in California right now. Shout out to everyone from California. Stay safe. I wish you guys all the best. NDP Member of Parliament Nikki Ashton decided to go to Greece after Christmas on a trip. Alberta Municipal Affairs Minister Tracy Allard from Grand Prairie vacationed in Hawaii over the holidays. She said, well, it's a 17-year tradition for her to vacation in Hawaii over the holidays. It was a 40-year tradition for me to get together with my parents over the holidays, but I was told not to. Alberta MLA from Lesser Slave Lake, Pat Wren, went to Mexico. And he posted Facebook pictures of him caving in Mexico. Very happy, having a great time. We're going to keep going here on the list, but of course, a lot of the constituents and regular citizens in the country were not too happy about their government officials telling us and warning us all to not gather at all, to not socialize, to not visit, to not have Christmas with friends, to completely lock ourselves down, or risk having people with guns, policemen, show up at your house and arrest you or give you huge fines if you congregate with parties larger than one. Guy from Lesser Slave Lake. He wrote after he came back and realized that a lot of his constituents were upset at him. He's sorry that he had a previously planned family trip following a busy legislative session, and that he had a previously planned trip. He went to Mexico. It was previously planned. I planned it previously at the beginning of the pandemic. Now we're in the middle of the pandemic. I planned it previously. I went. Alberta Jason Stephan, MLA for Red Deer, traveled to the U.S. And is on his way home now. Alberta Minister Jeremy Nixon, he went to Hawaii because he felt like it. Alberta Tanya Furr went to the U.S. Who else? There's so many of them. Saskatchewan MLA Joe Hargrove went to Palm Springs because he had a real estate deal to do. Quebec Liberal Pierre Arcand regrets his recent trip to Barbados. The list goes on. It's like, guys, and this is the cloud of bullshit that we're in. The cloud of smoke from the fire and the cloud of bullshit is that it's not illegal to travel. What politicians say and what they tell you to do has nothing to do with reality for them. As a regular schmo, you know, I turn on the news and I hear things like the border's closed, you must not travel. Health Canada is saying avoid all non-essential travel. The border is closed. We only have one border between Canada and the U.S. We don't border any other countries, right? We border the U.S. to the south. We have the Pacific Ocean on the west, the Atlantic Ocean on the east, and then we go up to the North Pole. And if you trudge your way over the North Pole and across the top of the world, eventually you enter Siberia, Russia, but there's no border there. And it is true. The border between Canada and the U.S. is closed to non-essential travel if you try and drive across it. But if you fly across it, it's open to all travel. Because I guess getting in your car by yourself and driving across the border on your way somewhere is very dangerous and will promote the spread of the virus. But if you go to a crowded airport and board a crowded plane and fly into the U.S. and then have a holiday, that's safe, according to politicians. The runner-up this year for the biggest moron award has to be the Premier of Alberta, Jason Kenney. After half a dozen of his MPs traveled, avoided their own guidance of not traveling, and went and traveled holidays all over the place. And as the uproar broke out in Canada, once this stuff started getting out, and all of us regular schmoes started getting pissed off, he issued a strong statement that said he was not clear in the first place with ministers that they should avoid travel, although he was clear with everyone who lives in this province that we should avoid travel and congregating. And from now on, after the holidays are over, after you guys get back from your holidays, be clear that you shouldn't leave anymore. You've had your holiday. I didn't mention specifically that you shouldn't leave the country, so it's okay. Just remember, no more holidays. The vaccine's coming out now and we're kind of nearing the end of this. No more traveling. Talk about, this is the politician's way, right? These are why is this a cloud of bullshit? Because it's not, they didn't do anything illegal. I could go to Barbados if I want to, but Health Canada's telling me don't. You should avoid unnecessary travel. These are the guys that are sitting there running the country, deciding on what we should all do, and they get together and decide we should lock everyone down and we should let them know that they should not travel and that they should stay home and they should avoid all non-essential travel and they should just stay in their houses by themselves. These are the guys that are deciding this, and after they finish their meetings deciding, they say, oh, that was tough. Well, that was a tough set. I need a break. I need to go to Barbados. Well, I'm going to go to Mexico. Hawaii sounds good. I'm going to Greece. And then when word comes out that this is happening and the regular schmoes of Canada get pissed off at them, the Premier, who knew all this was going on, says, oh, well, okay, No more traveling, guys. I just, yeah. But the winner has to be. The winner has to be. Winner of the biggest moron has to be the Finance Minister of Ontario, Rod Phillips, who cut short his trip to the Caribbean in St. Bart's. And on his way back said, he called the trip a dumb mistake resulting from a momentary lack of judgment. Let's describe what to him is a momentary lack of judgment. He had a suspicion that people might be upset that he was traveling around the Caribbean while his province was in lockdown and told not to travel anywhere. He thought that maybe some people would think that was kind of a little hypocritical and might get upset at him. So he was very clever. He produced a series of social media videos and posts that would come out on Twitter and Facebook, pre-recorded, so as to make it seem like he was home. He recorded a video, the absolute pompous douche, idiot, moron winner of the 2020 Biggest Moron Muppet Award. He produced a video of himself wearing a turtleneck, sitting by a crackling fire at home with a gingerbread house and a glass of eggnog and a few donuts, where he wished everyone a Merry Christmas and thanked them all for the sacrifices that we were making together as a nation to get through these troubled times. Released on Christmas, giving the impression that, oh, the guy, he really cares for us. He's at home self-isolating just like all the rest of us. Meanwhile, he's on the beach drinking a pina colada. He premeditatedly set up he knew that everyone would be pissed off about his trip, so he painstakingly prepared videos and social media posts to make it look like he wasn't traveling. And his boss knew he was gone, but didn't tell anyone. It didn't say anything, thought, oh, I hope no one finds out. Once everyone found out and got pissed off about it, his boss, Doug Ford, came out and said, well, I'm not very happy about this. When he gets back, I'm going to have a really tough conversation with him. Yeah, okay. Now, I can understand Doug's dilemma. Doug, he's when you're in charge, you're the boss, and you have a bunch of morons that are working for you, and you're at work one day, and someone says, "Hey, Rod's down in the Caribbean. He took off." Oh, shit! Doesn't he know we're supposed to be locking down? We just told everyone who lives here not to go anywhere. Oh, I hope no one finds out. He had what was he supposed to do? Like, come out and say, "Hey, my finance minister, the douchebag that he is, he went down to the Caribbean without telling me, so he's fired." Like, I guess he could have done that, but no, what would be the other thing he could do? He could just not say anything, which is what he did, hoping no one would find out. Or he could, like, call the guy right away and say, "Hey, get your ass back here and apologize." I don't know. Doug, you're an accessory to moronship. He's an accessory moron. The winner has to be the Ontario Finance Minister. And it's just a cloud of it's do as we say, not as we do. And it's the same for everything that almost all politicians ever do. They tell you what you should do, and they do whatever the fuck they want. And it's pathetic, and it's no wonder that there's so much animosity and so much non-compliance and so many people that just say, "I'm so fucking done with this." Like, here I am. I wanted to have Christmas with my daughter, and who lives in a house by herself, and she's been carefully wearing a mask every day and hasn't come in contact with anyone. I wanted to have a Christmas dinner with her. My husband and I wanted, but we're not allowed. So we had to do a fucking Zoom call I Zoomed with my daughter. I've spent Christmas with her the last 28 fucking years. But now the guy that's down in Barbados said we can't. And it's just a shit show. And all you politicians that did that, I don't care if it's not against the law. I don't care if it's, technically, according to Health Canada, they can provide guidelines for what you should do. But there is travel still allowed. If I get tested before I get on the plane, or it's not illegal for me to go, or whatever fucking excuse you have, you should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. And if you're a supporter of any one of these Muppets, if you just think this is a funny video and you want to watch it, fine. But let's say you're a conservative supporter in Ontario and you've never voted for any of the other parties, and this Muppet head, a finance minister, is in your riding of Ajax, and he was the guy that was down there in the Caribbean. And there's going to be another election coming up in a couple of years, and you're going to be faced with the choice, well, the guy's an ass. Do I vote for him? I still want to vote for him because I don't like the other parties or whatever. Some people are like committed for their whole life to one political view. I think that's nuts too. But if that's the case, if you fit into that category where you can't see yourself punishing these guys because the thought of voting for someone else is even more tough for you, then at least do this: call the guy or email the guy and say, please, you won the biggest moron award for 2020 for being a douche. Just don't run again. I want to vote for your party, but you're an ass. Resign. Let someone else run in your place so that I can vote for the party I want to. Right? Why do these guys? This is just one example. The traveling douchebags in Canada. Why do they constantly fuck up and do stupid things, but they're the only ones there? You got to vote for them again. They don't leave. They linger like a fucking scab that you can't get off. It just keeps coming. No matter how much you pick at it, it's there. Like, why can't just? How do we get rid of them? Like, don't vote for them again. Inundate their office with calls and emails and say, resign, don't run again. Let someone else. There's hundreds of people that would want to do it. Let someone else that maybe is a little smarter and a little bit more empathetic, or isn't an arrogant, self-centered prick, try. Have I gone on long enough? I'm starting to go stir crazy here, maybe I should go to fucking Barbados. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section if there's, from where you're from the country that you're living in, some nominations for the biggest moron in your country. And remember, it has to be a politician and it has to be a moron. So that pretty much is probably allows you to pick almost any politician in your country and leave a little story in the comment section. I'll read them and maybe we'll feature some of them. I'd like to know what's happening in the rest of the world. I hope you all stay safe, and I wish you all the best in whatever situation you're from. You may be from a country where everything is fantastic, where you've done things right, or you may be from a country where it's just a fucking shit show, like here in Canada. I wish you all the best. I gotta put some wood on the fire. Thanks for watching Klaus Kellerman's Point of View, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you did not, hit the dislike button. And if you subscribe, thank you very much. Click notifications on so that you'll know when the lunatic posts again. Marty, get back here. Marty! Ah!